Good evening and welcome back to Bald Feather Bets, guys. So we'll do a quick recap of Thursday Night Football from last night. We will talk about the NFL playoff picture window, any futures that maybe you guys want to have your eyes on, and then a public service announcement. Need to address something, and then lay two more plays for you guys. One NFL and one college. Okay, so NFL Thursday Night Football, Bills, Texans. We had the Texans +6 for 10 units. Obviously that won. They won outright. Really, I mean, it really shouldn't have been as close as it was because Bills got that touchdown off of the kick return, right? So like the Texans defense still really didn't give up anything to them. But then you could argue that's also then a little bit evened out by Bills already went into that thing a little hampered, right? Like Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid, and then they got more banged up as the game went on. So you could kind of argue like, okay, well, your point differential lost in losing those players is made up by the 7 points. I mean, no, it wouldn't. Those players don't equal 7 points, but it evens out with them getting the kick return. But really, I mean, pretty dominant game from the Texans. And like, you guys have been following me long enough, you know, like I'm pretty, nothing is ever a lock. Nothing is ever a sure bet. Nothing is ever free money. I hate people that use those terms, honestly, when it comes to sports gambling, because I think it's really dangerous. And I think it breeds people who potentially could develop really negative habits when it comes around sports gambling and be really detrimental to themselves and their lives. But I mean, that one was pretty obvious. Like Texans +6 at home against that Bills team. With the way the Texans offensive line has been playing better over the past 3 to 4 weeks, with Woody Marks in the run game going up against the 32nd ranked run defense in the NFL on a Thursday night at home wearing those sweet uniforms. I mean, the team that's 9th in DVOA, playing the team that's 10th in DVOA, and the team that's 10th is getting +6 at home, and they're separated by 0.1% in DVOA. And the team that is at home has the number one defense DVOA in the. Again, nothing's ever a sure bet, but I mean, there's a reason we were 10 units on that one, and we really, really liked it. So, yeah, that one was very obvious. Sometimes they're very, sometimes the picks are easy to make. Other times they're not. It doesn't mean that every pick that's easy to make you win. Tend to win more of those ones, but yeah, that one was obvious. I mean, yeah, horrible matchup for the Bills. Doesn't put the Bills in a tough spot. They've been destined for the wild card. If you look at the way the Patriots schedule works out compared to the way the Bills schedule works out, it would be really hard for the Bills to catch them at this point. But still, a loss that I think maybe some people are starting to tune in and understand kind of where this Bills team has flaws and why it's probably more significant than the ones they've had up until now, and how much not having Ed Oliver is detrimental to that. I can't even describe how detrimental it is to that defense. That's already their weakness, and he's the one thing that can kind of plug it up the middle, and they just don't have it right now. They don't have it. So anyway, so yeah, 10-0 on the Bills last night. So that brings us to 584 and 409 on the year. That sounds right. 584 and 409. Okay, so then looking at this NFL playoff picture, again, the thing that I like the most out of the AFC is a wild card team to make the Super Bowl. You're probably not gonna get Baltimore as a wild card team. They're probably gonna end up being the division winner, just with how things are going in Pittsburgh. If you get the 3 wild card teams to be Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City, I mean, you're almost guaranteed. Like, I would bet you that if you get that as the 3 wild card teams, that ticket would be minus or even money at a sports book at that point, and you can still get it plus money, right? And anytime you take a prop on wildcard team to make the playoffs or make the Super Bowl this early, you're going to get plus money. If you take wildcard team to win the Super Bowl, you're going to get even like higher odds. And I mean, this is the thing. If Mahomes wouldn't be, like, doesn't matter what the record is, Mahomes and the Chiefs wouldn't be a Super Bowl underdog. They just probably, well, most likely they wouldn't be an underdog, or they're going to be a 1.5, 2 point dog at most. And so if you take that ticket now, you're getting really, really good odds if they were to make it to the Super Bowl, right? If you're to take wildcard team to win the Super Bowl, you're getting jumping way out ahead of really, really good odds. So it's worth probably a sprinkle of 2 or 3 units. You know what I mean? We are, though, at a point now where I have to raise my hand. I believe the words I used were, Denver's not winning this division, pull your head out of your ass. Denver's going to win the division. And I still don't value them as a team. I don't think they're that good. But they are, I think, 7th or 8th in DVOA, so the defense is cleaning up a lot. With that defense, they're not going to blow this lead. They're going to win a whole lot of games by 3 points, by 4 points, by whatever, because their offense is okay. I saw someone today say that if they were starting a franchise right now and they had a fantasy draft of QBs, that they would take Bo Nix over Patrick Mahomes. And I texted one of my friends and I was like, people have just gotten out of hand. She's gotten out of hand. Since Patrick Mahomes has been a starter in the NFL, if you have him as your quarterback, you make the Super Bowl 71.4% of the time. There are a few stats throughout sports that are mind-blowing. The fact that the Bulls never lost 3 games in a row during their 6-year NBA title run. The fact that the 2001 Miami Hurricanes would have gone 8-4 if they never scored an offensive point. The fact that Wayne Gretzky, if you take away all of his goals scored, he's still the all-time points leader in the NHL. There's a few that are incredible. That one's in there. If you look at how hard it is in the NFL to go to the Super Bowl, if Mahomes is your quarterback so far in his 7-year career, you go to the Super Bowl 71.4% of the time, and people are saying that they would take Bo Nix to start a franchise. But we like people like that, because that is why lines sometimes the way they are, like why the Bills were -6 on Thursday night, and why we can be profitable. So Bald Feather Bets, us as a community at Bald Feather Bets, we thank the heavens that people like that exist out there. Okay, so but Broncos are going to win that division. If you did have a Chiefs AFC West ticket, that is dead. Now what you would want to now you have to stretch it out on the Chiefs is you have to take the Chiefs as an AFC title or to win the Super Bowl. That's it. They're entering in as a wild card team, or you take a wild card team to win the Super Bowl, because you're gonna get the Bills as a wild card team, you're gonna get the Chiefs as a wild card team, and you still have an outside chance that Steelers could keep winning and then the Ravens end up being a wild card team. But you're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot there. But I mean, we're trending towards the top 3 seeds in the AFC are going to be New England, Denver, and we'll see on Indianapolis. I think they're 3rd in DVOA right now. This weekend's huge for them. We'll see. We'll see on Indy, because there's a few things that teams have done defensively to them, essentially playing 3rd and 4th down defense on first down on them, playing drop back, because Indy's been running. They've been very, very smart. They're actually doing a lot of what Steichen did with the Eagles 3 years ago, where they're a very aggressive offense on first down in terms of play call, especially through the air. And it was getting defense. It was catching defenses early on in the season. Defense have started to adjust to it. So, yeah, that's where we're at on that one. In the NFC, we already told. I mean, Philly's going to win the NFC West, which is crazy. It's the first time in like 20 years that you've had a repeat winner. I think it's the first time since 03 to 04. You've had a repeat winner, and so more than 20 years. In the NFC East, NFC North, guys. So Chicago is the division leader. They're not only is Chicago not like a high team in DVOA, they're ranked 25th in DVOA, and they are a negative team in DVOA. So they have negative percent in DVOA. So they are considered a bad team. They have a -6 point differential, but they're 7-3. So a lot of people are falling all over in love with Chicago. I have a few Bears fans, and they have just been unbearable the past couple of weeks, but they're winning, so I honestly enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. They will not be winning the NFC North. So you have value there on Green Bay or Detroit. I wouldn't take Minnesota because JJ is just not ready to be a quarterback, and they're going to have to. They invested that money in him. They invested that pick in him. They have to ride this through. They have to let him work through this. So they're not a team that's going to compete. But Green Bay or Detroit's winning that division. If you feel like you can get a good number on that at a book, that's a fine future to make right now. Told you guys going into last week, the NFC South, everybody is like, oh, this is done. Bucs are going to win it. Well, Bucs lost again. They are 2-0 in the division, but Carolina's also 2-1 in the division. Told you guys to watch out for Carolina, and they are now a game behind Tampa Bay, and they're a half game behind Tampa Bay. They have the same number of wins. They have one more loss because they haven't had their bye week. They have a big game, obviously, Monday Night Football, going up against San Francisco out in California. They may get exposed, but hopefully you guys got it early because the value's starting to dwindle on it. That's not a bad ticket to be holding right now either. Carolina to win the NFC South. And then my favorite division in the NFL right now, by DVOA, the two best teams in the NFL right now, plus San Francisco in there, with San Francisco having maybe the easiest strength of schedule to finish out the year. The NFC West, man, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers, and then you just have Arizona in there, which sucks for them because they're really not a terrible team, although they've gotten smacked in the mouth the past 2 weeks, costing us 5 units each game. But they're definitely not in the caliber of the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers. 49ers aren't in the caliber of the Rams, the Seahawks either. I want to, I don't think people are respecting how good the Seahawks are. The Seahawks lead the NFL with 20 turnovers. 19. One of them is if I remember correctly, one of them is a defensive turnover. They got a turnover, and then as they were running the ball back, they fumbled it again. That doesn't count. So they have 19 offensive turnovers, okay? Or offense or special teams turnovers. I don't know if one of them was on a kick return or something. And they are still number one in DVOA at 43%. I don't think people understand how fucking insane that is. It's almost impossible to be that, not only have a record that good, but have the advanced metrics say you're that good and be the worst team in the NFL in turnovers. If they get that portion figured out, that team may be legitimately unbeatable. In what they've shown you, again, Sam Darnold can have one of his games. He's done it twice. And they still beat the Texans with 4 turnovers, -3 in the turnover battle. And they came within 2 points of the Rams in a last-second field goal that Jason Myers missed. And he had 4 picks. Last year with the Vikings, if he had a game like that, the Vikings got blown out. We saw it twice. We saw it against the Lions in Week 18, and then we saw it against the Rams in the playoffs. This Seahawks team is mind-blowingly good. Mind-blowingly good. Now, on the other side of that, you have this Rams team who is probably just a smidge under good. They're not quite historic like the Seahawks team is, but they're very, very good. And they have Sean McVay, who you're going to take any day, all day. I like Mike McDaniel, but you're taking Sean McVay all day and twice on Sunday. And they have Matthew Stafford, who you're definitely taking over Sam Darnold. And they have a few guys in there who've been there, who kind of know it, like Devontae Adams. Like there's some pieces on that Rams team that in a playoff game you like. Because a playoff game, a lot of times it doesn't really come down to who's the better teammate. It can, like last year when Philly played Washington in the NFC title game. I think we were 20 units on Philly, because there had nothing to do with like whether Jaden Daniels was going to have a star game, because it didn't matter, because the Eagles were so much better than the Commanders last year. Most of the time, it can come down to an individual star talent making an impact, and which is why, like, while I don't necessarily, you guys hear me say, I don't necessarily think the Bills are a good team. Once the Bills get into the playoff, and then once they're more willing to run Josh Allen and things like that, anything can happen when you have Superman as your quarterback. So anyway, this Seahawks team, guys, I continue to see good prices on them to win the Super Bowl, to win the NFC, to do all those things. They're probably going to have to do it at this. Although I don't know, man. They were on the road against the Rams. They came within 2. They still get the Rams up in Seattle. I don't know. But there's positive things there with the Seahawks, and if no one should hate holding any sort of Seahawks ticket right now. No one should hate it. Okay, that's pretty much it in terms of NFL landscape. Any sort of futures? Not a whole lot. I mean, as you get later in, there's not a whole lot of value, right? So you just got to be careful. If you want a future, and you've been with us, if you're plus 175 in units, just if you're going to take a future, just sprinkle 2 to 3. Don't go crazy on a future. Okay. PSA, and then 2 picks, and then get out of here. You guys enjoy your Friday night. I got dinner plans. In fact, I'm late, but that's fine. When I give out lines, so I'm going to start off by this. From the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, I check every line that we're monitoring, which is every NFL game, and every college game that we're monitoring to play, every 30 minutes to an hour. That's what I do to make sure that I can get you guys the best picks and the best numbers. I monitor every single major book, and I monitor every single non-major book, if you catch my drift on non-major books. When I make a pick on a line, I'm giving you a line that is available as the main line at least one of the books. I'm not going and then adding points to it. It's available at one of them. I'm going to say this as plainly and as clearly as I can. If you're too fucking stupid to bet with only one book and not multiple books, that's not my problem. And if you're too fucking stupid to watch the videos 3 days later and then be upset that the line isn't available because Joe Burrow is now playing for the Bengals, and you don't understand the movement that would make in a Bengals versus Patriots line, that's not my problem. And if you're upset with the winnings, if you're upset with being plus 175 units because you don't like that you've had to lay extra juice sometimes, or maybe you're getting the line at a half point somewhere else, then go the fuck somewhere else. Okay, public service announcement complete. So we have 2 picks for you guys tonight, and I'm going to expand on them a little bit just in terms of kind of what I was saying. So College Football Saturday, we're taking Oregon minus the 10, and we're doing that for 5 units. Careful waiting on this one. There is a chance it could go back to 9.5, but it's already gone to 11 at several books, like 2 to 3, and you're only seeing about 3 minus 10s out there. The middle of the road one is about 10.5 right now. So if I were you, I would play the 10 now, because there's probably a better chance that one goes to 11 at most of the books tomorrow. So lay the 10 right now on that one. We're doing that for 5 units. If you want to wait, You can, but 10's a key number to then go to 10.5. Then we are doing the Chiefs -3 for 5 units. We may go more on this one depending on what happens. That is only available at, I believe, if you're with main sports books, there's a bunch of non-main ones, again, if you catch what I'm saying, that are at -3. That's only available at, I believe, 2 of the main sports books left right now. Everywhere else is 3.5. I wouldn't wait on that. You probably have a better chance that come Sunday, sharps hammer those. So I would go with, I would go with laying the 3 right now. I think you got a much better chance that you miss all your opportunities at 3, and you don't end up getting the 3 and everywhere goes to 3.5. So take that right now. One of those sports books is green and the other's purple, if that helps you out a little bit in terms of where you can get the 3. That's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Notifications on. Like, share, comment on everything. Never charge for these picks. Always keep them free. Just want to grow the channel. And then we'll be back at you again tomorrow with a rundown of what our College Ball Saturday plays are. Enjoy your Friday night. Stay safe out there. Thanks, guys.